Regrets trading my TRD off-road Tacoma for an SR5? Well, good morning everybody and welcome back to Robmotive. In case you didn't know, recently I traded my Toyota Tacoma TRD off-road, the lifted blue unicorn, for an SR5. Now, I did that for several reasons. For the channel, because I wanted something new, to kind of start again, to do different things, all kinds of different stuff. But it's gone. That is my TRD off-road, and we're actually in the SR5 right now, driving along. So, do I regret it? You know, there's probably one regret that I have, and it's really about the process, not about the truck itself. And that is not selling it privately. Honestly, I think I could have gotten substantially more money had I traded it privately. But when you look at the tax offset, the hassle factor, all that, I don't know, probably would have been maybe a few hundred, maybe 1,000, maybe 2 at most. So not a huge regret, but a regret nonetheless. Otherwise, no, I don't. This truck is smooth, it's quick, as compared to the stock manual transmission TRD off-road. Once the sprint booster was in that truck, I would put it probably just a hair quicker than this automatic version. But even so, I didn't have to do anything to this truck to get it just a little bit below the way that my TRD was. Now, I will be putting the sprint booster in this truck. Should make it even better. I can't wait. Just to get rid of that throttle lag and give me everything that I need. Now, as far as lifts and accessories and all that kind of stuff, I do miss, I don't regret, I miss the stance of my TRD off-road. You know, that's one of the first things that I noticed when I brought this truck home and I was looking at it in the garage, is how much shorter it looked. It even looked smaller all around, dimensionally, the footprint, which we know isn't true. It's the same size otherwise, but just kind of had that illusion because it didn't have that lift. I remember when I got it home, I was out and I was kind of leaning on the bed, you know, with my elbow up on the bed. And it was kind of amazing to me as to how much different it felt, because this truck, of course, is lower. Just a crazy little thing, but something I noticed nonetheless. As far as all the options and stuff, you know, do I regret getting a lower trim level truck? You know, my TRD off-road, when I built that, I added all kinds of stuff. A big mistake on my part, which I did a whole video on. But nonetheless, I added all this stuff to it, and I found I didn't really use most of it. Probably of everything that I added, the thing that I used the most was the 3D camera. And that was only if I was pulling in beside something. You know, I could see off to the right of the truck how close I was to whatever obstacle was there. That was very handy, but I didn't do it often. It was only if I would park the truck outside for some reason and was pulling up next to the landscaping stuff by my house. That was really it. The front-facing camera, on the other hand, that was nice, because when I pull in my garage, I could see in front of me as to how close I was when I was, you know, putting it away for the night or whatever. So I do miss that a little bit. I don't regret it. For as little as it was used otherwise, it's nothing that I'm going to really miss. Now, what about the leather? Let's talk about the leather. You know, I got leather on the TRD off-road because I had to. I had to because of the other options that I wanted. Those options threw me into a package, and I had to have the leather seating. Now, I regret having the leather seating, not having it. And that's because, and this is on me, I'd mentioned before, I had a stupid button on the back of my jeans exposed, one of those little rivet-like snap things, and it got bent, and of course that made it sharp, and it was messing up my seat. So that was a drag to me. I'm not going to have that problem with the cloth seats in here. And I've already noticed that they're more comfortable. They're not as firm, as stiff as the leather was. It's not as hot as the leather was. Not to say that it isn't 800 degrees when I get in the truck here, because it is. But I'm not getting on those black leather seats that kind of start cooking the back of your thighs. That was a drag. And I think not having the leather in the truck makes it cooler overall, because once that leather heats up, it starts radiating that heat. So when you get in it, it's even hotter, or it feels hotter than not having it at all. The color, that's, you know, I mentioned I had one regret. That the color is probably my second regret, to be honest. I did love the Voodoo Blue. It was a striking color, set the truck off, and it was very unique. With the magnetic gray metallic, there's obviously a lot more of them on the road, so the truck isn't this beacon as you're driving around. That has pluses and minuses. You know, sometimes drawing attention to your truck is not a good thing. You know, you want it to just blend in that parking lot. You don't want people coming over and getting close to it. At least I don't. One of my biggest pet peeves is people leaning on my truck. You know, if you're having a conversation, somebody comes over, whatever, inevitably, they're going to end up leaning on your truck. And I didn't want this one to draw the kind of attention, I guess, where people would go to it and maybe lean on it. I know it's a crazy, crazy thing, but it happens. I noticed it all the time. Power-wise, as I mentioned, this is probably just slightly below where the TRD off-road was with that Sprint booster installed. So I will be remedying that. I do love fast acceleration off the line, but I have to say, in thinking back to the 2018 automatic that I had, this one just feels better. It feels smoother. The acceleration seems to be quicker, faster, more intuitive, smoother acceleration than what I had in that truck. And I have to say, when I drove a 2019, again, my 18 was an automatic, I did notice that in that truck. It just seemed like a smoother delivery. So I know Toyota changed up the programming for the gearing a little bit, and I'm sure that probably has something to do with it. They've just made the transitions between gears a little bit smoother. Now, one other thing I want to mention before I sign off on here is gear hunting. I've had this truck on the freeway a few times. I don't really notice that. Now, is that because Toyota took care of it? Is it because I'm just not sensitive to it? You know, it's kind of hard to say. I really can't answer that honestly, but I don't notice it. I just don't notice any kind of gear hunting in this truck. And that's a good thing. So maybe Toyota took care of it. Maybe I'm just not as sensitive as others. So anyway, in the end, do I regret trading my TRD off-road for the SR5? And the answer is no. So far, I am enjoying this truck. I'm digging this truck. I might even say it's pretty much as much fun to drive as my Jeep Gladiator. And that's saying a lot, because I really dig that truck. Anyway, leave a comment. I'd be curious if you've gone down a trim level in the Tacoma. What did you think? Was it more satisfying, or do you wish you'd have kept what you had? I'd be curious to know. Also, real quick, I do have 2 additional channels. Robmotive FST, all about my 2021 Toyota Tundra. The last of the breed. And Robmotive JT, all about that 2020 Jeep Gladiator. Check them out, and if you're interested, why not subscribe? Don't forget to click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. And do me a favor, smash that subscribe button on the way out. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.